You take a bite of food, and almost immediately, your body launches into a full-scale panic. Your face flushes, sweat forms on your forehead, and your eyes begin to water as an agonizing, burning sensation spreads across your tongue. But despite the intense feeling of being scorched, capsaicin, the chemical compound that gives chili peppers their spice, does not actually singe a single cell in your mouth. Because there is no literal fire, cultivators of the world's hottest peppers often insist their creations are completely harmless. They argue that the heat is a biological illusion, a mere chemical trick played on your nervous system. Yet medical journals tell a different story. They document healthy adults participating in chili eating contests who wind up in the emergency room with thunderclap headaches and severe abdominal pain. If the fire isn't real, we have to look at how a perfectly forged warning signal can send the human body into a very genuine and sometimes dangerous medical crisis. Capsaicin acts as a biological hacker. When you eat a chili pepper, the molecule binds directly to TRPV1 pain receptors located at the nerve endings inside your mouth. Normally, these specific nerve cells only fire when they detect actual physical heat above 108 degrees Fahrenheit. Capsaicin chemically bypasses that requirement, forcing the neuron open and sending a blaring artificial warning to the brain that your tissue is literally boiling. Your brain receives the signal and instantly deploys its cooling defenses. Blood vessels dilate to shed warmth, dropping your internal temperature and triggering a heavy sweat to evaporate the phantom heat away. The respiratory system joins the fight as well. Your lungs send an emergency alert to your diaphragm, forcing you to hiccup quickly and repeatedly in an attempt to physically evict whatever fiery invader you just swallowed. The heat itself is an illusion, but your body's defensive panic creates an exhausting systemic physiological event. We intentionally subject ourselves to this simulated burning because the brain tries to cope with the perceived agony by flooding our system with endorphins, creating a massive euphoric rush. To endure spicier food and reach these higher levels of euphoria, humans have integrated secondary ingredients like the Sichuan peppercorn into their diet. These peppercorns contain a compound called hydroxy-alpha-sanshool. Instead of triggering heat receptors, it activates tactile sensors, producing a strange numbing sensation that feels exactly like your lips are vibrating at 50 Hz. This numbing effect dulls the intense pain of capsaicin. It creates a positive feedback loop. The numbness allows you to eat spicier foods, generating a stronger endorphin high, which encourages you to eat even more before the numbness wears off. That relentless pursuit of chemical reward drives humans to constantly push the limits, artificially breeding peppers to reach heat levels far beyond anything naturally required for the plant's survival. We measure the extreme results of this botanical arms race in Scoville heat units, or SHU, a metric that tracks the exact concentration of capsaicin in a pepper. A standard jalapeno usually sits near the bottom of this scale, offering a mild baseline kick. Modern cultivation has completely shattered that baseline. This is the Carolina Reaper, a pepper engineered to achieve a staggering median rating of 1.8 million Scoville heat units. And the Reaper was recently dethroned by Pepper X, a new braid that clocks in at nearly 2.7 million units, roughly twice as hot as its predecessor. Pushing capsaicin levels into the millions produces a chemical concentration that functions as a potent biological toxin. The German Federal Institute for Risk Assessment has analyzed exactly how much capsaicin the human body can endure before the illusion of heat begins to cause literal damage. This chart maps out human symptoms against exact capsaicin intake levels. At the 170 milligram threshold, the body experiences significant hours-long nausea, stomach cramps, and adverse circulatory effects like cold sweats and dizziness. Further to the right of the matrix, in the 600 milligram red zone, the amount of pure capsaicin is enough to induce abdominal pain so severe that it requires immediate hospitalization. The immense physical stress of digesting super peppers can even trigger reversible cerebral vasoconstriction syndrome. This is a sudden, extreme narrowing of the arteries in the brain that results in blinding thunderclap headaches.
In fact, as this published multi-center study highlights, capsaicin is so brutally effective at hijacking our nerve pathways that medical researchers use it as a standard model to artificially induce and study clinical neuropathic pain. The fire in your mouth is technically an illusion, but your brain's violent, desperate reaction to that illusion can cause lasting physical harm. If you do cross your physical limits, drinking a glass of water is the worst action you can take. Capsaicin is hydrophobic, meaning water won't dissolve it. It just spreads the volatile molecules around your mouth, hitting even more pain receptors. To stop the reaction, you need a chemical solvent. Capsaicin dissolves readily in fats, oils, and high-proof alcohol. Consuming full-fat dairy like whole milk or a spoonful of peanut butter allows those fat molecules to bind directly with the capsaicin, prying it off your nerve endings and washing it away. This sensory manipulation trades the sensation of extreme heat for a surge of endorphins, forcing the human body to manage real physiological stress in exchange for a chemical reward.